Hey guys, Jellica here from aprettyfix.com and welcome back to my channel. Well, today I'm going to be taking you on a bit of a declutter and organize with me day. I've identified a few pain points in my home, meaning areas of my home that I have actually never ever organized since having moved in nearly 12 years ago, or areas that just need a little bit of tidying up. I really love visual simplicity, so my house tends to look really tidy from an outsider's perspective, but I know that deep down, lurking in certain closets and cupboards and cabinets, that I've got a lot of organizing to do. So without further ado, let's get into it.
So the first thing that I like to do is have bins ready before I start to declutter. For me, there is no point in organizing any space without starting to declutter before organizing. I think otherwise it's a really fruitless exercise and it just creates a lot of chaos and a mess to clean up afterwards. So what I like to do is just place some empty bins in the areas that I'm going to be decluttering. In my case, I identified 3 very small targeted areas within our dining room, our kitchen, our mudroom, and our entryway. And then I like to have a couple of empty boxes in case there are things that I want to donate, recycle, and a garbage bag as well. So first up is our dining room buffet, which is quite chaotic. It's where I keep all of our wrapping paper, except for the long rolls, of course. And I have never ever organized this space. We've been here for nearly 12 years, and we've had this very buffet in our dining room space for almost the entire time. And I was reminded once again this past Christmas that this area is just a complete mess. I do like to keep nicer tissue paper, old gift boxes here, so I always like to store them and reuse them and repurpose them and recycle them. But it was just getting a bit much. And I knew it was time to get this all sorted and cleaned up once and for all. And if you can't already tell, I am placing all the things that I'm keeping to the right of me, and then to the left of me are those 2 cardboard boxes, which are all recycling. And you'll see by the end of it just how much stuff I just decide I don't really need and I just might as well recycle. I have so many duplicate gift boxes that I've been keeping, or gift bags rather, that I've been keeping, that there's really just no point in keeping so much of it anymore. And joining me in today's episode is Burger the cat, my official inspector of all things home organization. Now, my absolute favorite method of organizing any parts of my home is to use a kind of macro organizing system, meaning just big bins without any lids. And I don't really want to micro organize every single tissue paper. I don't want to put all the reds together and all the whites together. I just want to pile in, say all the Christmas looking tissue paper together and the Christmas gift bags, and then all the rest in other bins. I want to make it quick and easy to access, but without overthinking it. And I think that is something that really generally helps me when it comes to doing a quick declutter and organizing, especially in areas that I've either never touched or places that just need to be tidied up that I haven't tidied in years. In this case, this is just an area that I've just never organized before. So this is just the easiest, simplest way to get the job done. So this is what this space looked like before, and now here's what it looks like afterwards. Simple, easy, big bins. It really works for me. And I have organized them somewhat by category. I've got Christmas supplies in a few of the bins, and then non-holiday specific items in other bins, and that's enough for me. I just want to know that it's there, it's accessible, and it's easy to access. And I also seem to collect a lot of tea lights, so I've kept them here as well. This definitely is now far more functional and workable, and this took me probably about a half an hour to go through. Quick and simple. And as with any decluttering and organizing, you can create a bit of a mess, but as you can see here, this is very much a controlled mess. I've got 2 full boxes of recycling, I've got a bit of garbage, and just a few things to put away, and that's it. So that's why I really am a big believer in having some bins ready so that the cleanup afterwards is really quick. That took me about 5 minutes to go through and put away. Now moving on to our kitchen, there are 3 very small areas that I wanted to tidy up and reorganize, and in a couple of spots I had forgotten what was actually in these baskets. So I thought I might as well just pull these out and figure out what I want to keep, what I want to donate, recycle, and what I can organize. And what I ended up having at the end of the day was a lot of freed up space, which was a hugely wonderful surprise for me because there are a few other areas in our kitchen that also need to be tidied up and reorganized, and I'd like to kind of spread some of our stuff around, and so this was just a great opportunity to do that, but I think I'll save that for another time. So the only thing I kept here were our cookbooks, which I had forgotten that they were there, so it was great. And then I ended up with all the space on the right side with some items that I ultimately removed and placed with like items that I had already in other parts of the kitchen. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I have a junk drawer, but I also have a junk cupboard, and this is it. Random things end up here, and I do know that I keep paper towels and napkins, but there were other items that I'd completely forgotten about. Random candles, some air fresheners, and also some cookbooks, which I completely forgot about. So it was a great little discovery. I could just grab them, put them with the other cookbooks, and I could just start organizing these 2 areas a little bit better. So this is my junk cupboard afterwards, after the big cleanup, and so I only ended up with a bin of napkins. Yes, I seem to hoard napkins as well. And I added some air fresheners. I grouped them all together because they were in a couple of those cupboards, and that was it. And I had some extra space left over. I ended up with some things that I could recycle and some items that were good for donation. And I discovered these really cute green tea light holders that I'm going to keep. Moving on to one final area in our kitchen that I've been wanting to kind of clean up and reorganize. This shelf has a lot of oils and just odd items that I'd forgotten all about. And they had been dripping for ages, and I just knew that I needed to place a proper tray there and check all of the expiry dates on some of these bottles and just get rid of them once and for all. So here I go. And while this may not seem like much, this made such a huge difference for me. Just placing a simple tray that I got at the dollar store, that I could just pick up any drips and not worry about it dripping onto the shelf, and just getting rid of some of the expired bottles. This just really, it took a bit of a load off, to be honest. And all I had left to clean up were these bottles to empty and a little bit of garbage. And moving on to the mudroom, this half of the closet is actually my space. I put my winter coats, winter boots, and odds and ends here, including glass vases. I like to group them all together here on the main floor, but they're kind of a mess. I've still got flowers in them, pampas grasses and whatnot, and I just really wanted to organize it, place them in large bins, and get them all tidied up. Now, what I decided to do here was limit myself to just these 2 bins. So all the best vases I would place in these 2 bins, and the rest I would donate. And this may not be for everyone, but sometimes we need to just put a restriction on some of the items that we keep. And this really helped me to corral everything together that I wanted to keep and then determine what I would do with the rest. I had one glass vase that I was able to donate and a few of these items that I could store elsewhere, and then I was able to fit all the rest in these 2 bins. I was really happy about that. And then I could just go to town with the rest of the closet and figure out what I wanted to keep, donate, and toss. And another great discovery was this closet organizer. I just love it when that happens. And this was the final result. I freed up a lot of space. I found this great closet organizer, which is empty right now, but it's there to be used. And I've got my vases all organized. And I've got some things that I can donate. And I even discovered this essential oils book that I had purchased some years ago, still in the bag. So it was a great little find. Moving on to our entryway, I've got my station set up with my 2 boxes in case there are things that I want to recycle. And I don't think there will be anything to donate, but I do have some books in there as well. So I just thought I'd go through and just make sure that I was fully prepared for whatever it is that I discovered. So I knew that I wanted to keep the majority of my 3M hooks here on the main floor. Also some furniture pads that I like to keep here. And I just macro organized them. Just had 2 small bins, 1 for each. And I had a lot of papers here and some books that I have to sort through. I did keep these phone books. Does anybody keep phone books anymore? Comment below if you do. And I already had an organizing system in this drawer, so I didn't really have to do anything here. I just had to tidy it up a little bit. Keep my sunglasses, hand sanitizer, gum, that kind of thing. And I didn't have very much to place in these boxes for recycling. But I did have some papers, as I said, that I have to go through that I do have to kind of fine tune. And I had extra bins left over, so this was a great day overall. I could use them for another project. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I'm going to spend the rest of the day just watching a little bit of Netflix and organizing some of those papers that I mentioned. And I really hope this video has motivated you just to declutter and organize some of those areas of your home that you've been meaning to clean up, but just haven't gotten around to. If you did enjoy this video, then give it a thumbs up. And if you've got some ideas about other home organization projects that you'd like me to tackle, then please do comment below. Alright guys, I will see you all in the next video.
There's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin.